Welcome to the recording of Prenatal. I'm Brittany, obviously, and like I shared with the playlist, I don't know if you guys have seen the title yet, but the word of the month is transformation, which I think is very applicable to someone who is pregnant. And every single day, every single week, month, trimester, all the things can feel like a huge transformation, not only in your body, but in your heart, your mind. So tonight, we're going to move through a flow that hopefully helps you embrace that transformation and expand your capacity to hold new energy, new life, a lot of newness, right? So we're going to actually play the second song, starting on the second song of the playlist, and we'll hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. So it should be on Moving by Eskimotion. And hopefully you guys have your blocks and your bolster. Okay, let's just start in a seat. And you can sit up on whatever thing you want to sit on. Maybe it's a block, or if you like a little bit more softness underneath you, you can straddle your bolster or sit on it. And take whatever position for your legs that feels nice and right. That could be cross-legged for now, or you could sit on your shins. We won't be here for super long, but this actually feels good for me. And let your hands ground down onto your thighs. You can just slide your hands up and down all the way from your knees to your hips as you take a big breath in, sit your spine up tall. Take a big breath out. And slow your hands down to stillness. Take another deep breath through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Again, inhale as fully as you can get into your lungs. Take an open mouth, exhale. Settle into your seat, wherever that is. Allow your eyes to close down so that you can start to tune inward to yourself. This starting point, which is always in the now, it's always in the present. So check in. And if you've been feeling uprooted or like you're being pulled in so many directions on a day-to-day basis, think of this time as really your time to root, sink, and just be in your body, in this space, with your baby, with yourself. Notice if your spine or your belly is leaning forward or leaning back or over to the left or the right. See if you can center yourself as best as you can, where your spine feels long and open. And maybe it's a little harder to breathe into your belly, but instead I want you to think about breathing into your rib cage, especially around the sides. And if it helps you to hold on to your rib cage, right underneath your bra line or underneath your chest. See if you can breathe into your hands. And just remember that breath is truly a facilitator for any type of change. But it's also the key to grounding you into the moment. It can allow for ease in your transitions. Again, as you transform day by day, it also happens breath by breath. So think about the gas exchange that happens on every inhale. You're taking in oxygen and other molecules. And in your own body, you get this cycle and transformation when you breathe out. It's all CO2. Find a little appreciation for yourself for showing up for you and your baby. And just take one more breath here, settling into a rhythm for yourself. Know that it's totally okay to modify with any part of this practice. This is your practice, your time. Take your arms down by your sides and start to reach down through your fingertips as if your fingers could grow roots of their own into the ground. Maybe your hands are still fluttering over the mat. Let your shoulders come down and really depress them so that your neck starts to feel a gentle stretch. You can take your hands just by your hips, or you can walk them back behind you a little bit to stretch into the fronts of your shoulders and your arms. Take your chin down towards your chest and rock your ears slowly from side to side. And with this active depression of your shoulders, you should feel them pulling down away from your ear, away from your jaw, allowing your neck to open up on both sides and the back side. Even yourself out. Take your head back to the middle. And as you breathe in, take your head up, reach your arms out to the sides until they come all the way up over your head. Exhale, pull your hands in towards your heart space. Starting to move with your breath. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, separate your hands, reach all the way back until you get to a T shape. Then inhale, spin your palms to the sky. Bring your thumbs as far back as you can, breaking open your chest, your heart. You can let yourself arch if that feels okay. When you exhale, wrap one arm over the other, collapse your heart back, give yourself a hug. Chin down. And inhale, break open again. Hands can face up. Chest lifts. Exhale and round into your spine. Other arm wraps over. 2 more times. Inhale, reach wide. Feel your chest expand. Exhale, collect everything back in. Other arm goes on top. Breathe in one more time. Palms to the sky. Shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Exhale, round. And now breathe in. Come back to a neutral spine. You can just relax your arms. You can help your legs out by shifting your legs out in front of you. And you can straighten them. Keep your feet however distance apart if they need to be. And you can just shake out your legs or roll out your feet and your ankles and just notice how that feels in your body. How do your knees feel here? Does it feel best to bend your knees a little bit while you circle everything out? And then find, again, some stillness. Pull your toes up. You can widen up the stance even more if your belly is starting to get a little bigger. Okay, round yourself forward or get on top of your sits bones as best as you can. That means pushing your tailbone back behind you and leaning forward with your pubic bone. Take another breath in, reach high. Keep a long spine as you breathe out. So just shift yourself forward, coming down into a fold. Your hands can grab for wherever they need to. Just make contact with your legs and allow your sits bones to keep shooting back behind you. You can play with straightening out your legs and kicking even out one at a time. It feels okay in your body to relax the entire head down in between your legs for a whole fold. Try that. Breaking yourself open through the back body, which can represent the past. Sometimes we hold stories about the past, about ourselves as who we are as just generally humans or as parents. If there are any old stories you want to release here, let that go. by taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Give yourself 3 more. Breathe in, slowly start to rise in your spine. Okay. You can bend your knees, take your time shifting off your block, slide that out, but keep everything handy up towards the top of your space and just shift over so that you end up on all fours. Okay. When you get stacked, I want you to spread your fingers out, get your shoulders over your wrists so that your bones are in alignment, and take your knees underneath your hips. You can sway your tail from side to side, breaking into the waist. Noticing all of that sensation from your hip to your underarm. So if you feel anything around your ribs, hang out there. Breathe again deeply into each side. And I want you to find some stillness. Let's bring the knees a little closer together. Let's try kicking the right leg all the way up. I want you to notice first too, your low back, your spine. Are you letting yourself hang here? Can you gently pull yourself up and back so that your transverse abdominis is slightly engaged? Take that donkey kick of your right leg to the sky without letting your spine collapse all the way in. Right, keep that low hug of your belly. And notice if you made a little shift over to the left, that's okay. See if you can find a center again. And with this knee bend, circle your knee all the way out to the side and then back together next to your left. Take that donkey kick up and out. Try to circle your knee as big as you can make it, as good as it feels. 3 times going that way, and then we'll switch directions. Opening up the knee to the side like your dog close to a fire hydrant, and then bringing the leg back together. Notice if there's any heat getting generated in your standing leg, your left leg. Okay, next time you have your leg over and out to the side, go ahead and kick that leg all the way out. Let your foot ground. And I want you to feel this push of the outer edge of your foot down to the earth. And you can keep the back toes tucked under if that feels good. Start to shift your weight forward and back. So you should feel a little inner thigh stretch for your right leg. Maybe you feel this strength coming into your arms, your shoulders. Can you really keep pushing the ground away? Take a pause when you're at the back with your hips. You can stay right there. You can even flatten out that foot again and sink your hips all the way back. You can even lift your right toes up. So you're kind of in a little wide-legged forward fold and half child's pose. So it's a little different. You can also play with moving your hands closer to your straight leg and really reaching out through your left arm. Just take a deep breath here. Let it all go. Slowly come back to your center. Take a shift all the way up, back into the tabletop. You're going to keep your legs as they are. Plant down firmly through your left hand. Breathe in and reach your right arm high to the sky. Open up your chest. And see if you can reach your palm and face it up towards the ceiling. You can let yourself lean back if that feels okay to rotate through your upper body. And squeeze your right thigh, get really firm in your legs, take a breath in, take a breath out, sweep your right arm underneath you, and then see if you can just crawl your fingertips over to the left. So you don't have to bend your left elbow. If it feels okay to get all the way down into a twist, you can, but I think for most, this feels pretty good for the upper back. So your left arm is really strong, but you can sink into the shoulder. It's like your right fingertips are working away from your right hip and your right toes. Take one more breath. And then a big inhale to sweep your right arm back up to the sky, relieving the hip and the twist. Exhale and plant the right hand down. Take a breath in as you prep into your arms again. Tuck your left toes under. Exhale, see if you can push your hips all the way up and back into this wonky downward facing dog. So your legs are staggered and a little uneven. And you can try working your hips side to side, pressing your chest to the back leg, or even to your leg on the side. Notice how you feel in your shoulders. Maybe you feel this in your calves. Take another breath. Noticing your differences side to side. Come on down nice and slow, lowering your left knee, followed by bringing in your right leg. Cool. Okay. You can do any side to side hip movements if you need to break out of that, or circle all the way through if that feels good. Coming back to an evenness and a stillness. Bring your legs together. And again, firmly plant into your hands. Let's take the left leg up into that donkey kick with your nice strong neutral spine. So if you're collapsing into your chest, can you push the ground away and can you pull your belly in? Your thigh might not lift as high as you think it needs to. And then let's try circling out the knee as best as you can, feeling into the shifts that you take, going from side to side. After you've done 3 circles one direction, reverse it. Maybe it feels a little different after having worked to the left or the right side. Next time you have your leg out, extend your left leg all the way out to the side. I'll give you a different viewpoint for this one. Tuck your right toes under and start to shift forward and back. Round down through the outer left foot, as if you had a little arch underneath your foot that can be naturally there. You take a pause the next time you push your hips back. Let's untuck the right toes and sink your pelvis down as best as you can. And maybe the toes pull up on the left. You can keep your chest centered, or you can start to crawl your hands to the left. Really reach through your right arm. And feel again into your rib cage, those tiny spaces that don't get as acknowledged. Keep using your breath for deep transformation. Start to come back into the middle. Planting your hands down, shoulder width distance apart. Lift yourself back up into this different tabletop shape. Group down through your right side. Take a breath in and sweep your left arm up towards the sky. And if it feels good to really lean back and stretch yourself open, you can flip your palms so like you're literally saying hi to the sky. Notice how your neck and head feel. Take a big breath in. Squeeze your left leg. Exhale and slowly work your left arm underneath and through, keeping the right arm really strong. You can really isolate this twist through just your upper back. But if it does feel good to get all the way down, you can. You might feel a lot in the back of your shoulder to come down. Imagine you can really breathe into your back body here. Last one. Inhale, take your left arm back up, reach back. Exhale and plant your hand back down underneath your shoulder. Inhale and tuck your right toes under, gather up your belly strength. Exhale, push into your hands, lift up your right knee, press into this downward facing dog. Awkward one, a little weird shape, but feel into that asymmetry. And as humans, we are kind of built symmetrically, but are we truly symmetrical all the time? Probably not. So take advantage of this difference. Move your hips from side to side, move your chest from side to side, feeling the different pressure in your hands and your feet. Slowly shift yourself back forward, shoulders over wrists, touch your right knee down, followed by your left. You can circle yourself out. Let's tuck the toes under and start to walk yourself up onto your shins or your knees. Okay. And then we'll play a little bit with some core strength, glute strength. See if you can root down through your thigh bones, right? And see if you can tilt your tailbone down. Keep pulling your belly back. So it's not just belly button to spine. I want you to think about the waistband area below your belly button, above your pubic bone. Every time you feel your core turn on for you, I want you to think abdominal, low abdominal wall and pelvic floor, helping you out gently, okay? Deep breath in, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, slowly lower yourself back down to a tabletop. See if you can slowly root. And then breathe in, take an arch in your spine. Find your cow shape and pull your shoulder blades back. You can start to walk your knees out a little bit wider, bringing your toes together. Exhale, round in your spine, push your hips back. You can settle your chest down into more of a child's pose. Take 3 breaths here. Let your hips get heavy. Relax your hands for one more. And then slowly you can rebuild your spine. Sliding your hands back, push into your shins. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale and plant your hands down. Inhale, find an arch in your spine. Exhale, push all the way back into your child's pose. Keep going with your breath. Inhale, rise and reach. Slowly move down into your tabletop. Inhale, extend your spine. Feel your shoulder blades pull back. Exhale, push and round. One more time. Inhale, reach. Find this little squeeze of your glutes. Exhale, slowly lower. Feel the hamstrings kick in. Inhale, pull the shoulder blades back. Lift your chest, your chin. Exhale, find a big rounding, a full gathering of your baby in towards your body as you push back. And then inhale, come back to a tabletop. You can just tuck your toes under and push one foot up first, followed by the next. And take your hands to your thighs if you need to. Slowly come up to stand. Okay. So you can walk out your legs a little bit. Feel what it's like to be in standing again. You can root down through your feet, just like you did energetically with your hands, right? As if they could grow little roots. I want you to think the same thing about your legs, your feet. Every single toe is a tiny tendril, something to keep you grounded in this experience as you seriously grow and transform and grow life inside of you. Take your shoulder heads back, flip your palms open, and again, if it feels good and safe to you, to close your eyes and just tap in. See if you can Find this energy within yourself. Even if you can imagine the energy of the little one growing inside of you, if you see it as a light, what color does it look like? Or is it many colors? And while you stand here and breathe, growing this light, I want you to see that light and color expand and fill you up to your edges, the edges of your body, and then maybe even past that. Connect to the feeling in your fingers, all the way up your arms, into your neck, your head, and down your spine, down into your tailbone, across your hips, to your legs, all the way to your feet. Breathe in deeply. Exhale and let go. Notice how strong you are, how capable you are. And moving with your breath. Inhale, take your arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold yourself in half. Grab those blocks along the way. Inhale, take a halfway lift. So this is just like you did before, but on your knees. Exhale, let yourself fold down. Inhale, push through your feet. See if you can come up with a long spine, strong core, arms up. Exhale, hands into your heart. One more time. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, float your heart down, head down. Inhale, energize your spine. Send your crown forward. Exhale, melt. Inhale, reach your eyes. Take it up as best as you can. Getting your tailbone down. Exhale, hands to your heart space. And we'll reverse back out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, long spine as you float down. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Give yourself some room. Keep your right foot forward. Start to step your left foot back. You can lower your knee down. Bring both hands on the inside of your right leg. Let your hips sink in. Pull your shoulder blades back. You're looking for that stretch on your left side. If it feels okay, you can tilt your right ear over to the right. Notice the connection of your hip all the way up into your neck, your front body. And start to bring your head back to the center. And keep your left hand down on your block. You can point your right toes to the right hand to your thigh. Sink in and see if you can round or go off to the outer edge of your right foot and widen out your knee so you're getting back into your inner thigh again. And from this front inner thigh all the way to your back leg hip flexors, imagine if you can open up your pelvic floor. Every time you breathe in, this time you feel a relaxation. When you breathe out, there's just a natural contraction to help keep you stable. And then start to bring your hands back to both blocks. Setting yourself up, you can walk your right toes to face the front again. Shift the hips back. Let's pull your right toes up towards the sky. Breathe in, find a long spine. Breathe out, melt your spine down. Hang out here in a solid stillness, but your breath is what's keeping this dynamic. You could also actively move your leg. Point your toes and kneecaps out and then in. Finding a small rotation in your hips without completely moving your pelvis. It's all about rotating the head of your thigh bone, your femur, in its socket, getting a little more room. Stay for 2 more. Going as slow as you'd like. Even trying to point your toes down, stretching into the front of your ankle. And then you can point your toes straight back up, bend into your right knee again. And using your hands for support, tuck your right toe or left toes under, lift your left knee, and take a couple steps back up to the top. Okay, inhale, find a halfway lift. And start to widen out your feet. So they're about shoulder width or wider. Toes can face out. You've got your blocks here to support you. Bend into your knees as much as you can, diving into your hips. And you'll know when it feels good to actually drop your hips down. You might be someone who wants to stay and hover a little bit while you're working into your legs or finding some more strength. If you're wanting to get more space in your hips, you can also just stack your blocks, use your hands at the floor, bend your knees so much that your hips rest on top of your blocks. And then you can adjust your feet as needed, pulling them in as best as you can. Okay, you're going to use your elbows or maybe even your triceps to widen out your knees and spill yourself forward. It doesn't have to be a huge collapse and rounding to be able to isolate and feel right into your inner thighs. But keep pulling your heart forward, like you're breaking open a gate or something, pulling wide. I don't know. You can feel your inner thighs. You can even find a small rotation in your upper back. Dipping one shoulder in at a time. You can also take this time to really connect down to your pelvic floor. Take your breath in and notice if you can relax it down. And when you breathe out, imagine everything comes together and pulls up and in towards your head. So breathing in, you find a lengthening back to a low resting tone. And when you exhale, you don't even have to think too hard about it. It just happens naturally, right? Pulling together and up and in. Keep going for a couple more. And then you can plant your palms down. Use the strength of your feet really to push yourself up, transform into this forward fold. Grab your blocks, keep your left foot forward, and step your right leg back. Lower your right knee down to the ground softly. You can widen out your stance. So your hands are on the inside of your left foot. Play with the different heights of your blocks. Push your hips forward, leading with your pubic bone. Pull your shoulder blades down. Keep your chest lifted. Notice what you feel on this side. As you break open through the front of your right hip, you can take your left ear over to the left. Again, just checking in with the connection you have with your entire front body to your side body. If there's a spiral line of muscles and fascia that are all connected. See if you feel that in yourself. For one more. And then take your head back to the center. Realign your legs so it's right in between your hands. Shift your hips back. Let's pull your toes up towards your face, keeping your legs strong and active. Take a breath in, lift your heart up. Exhale and fold yourself down. Include your head if that feels good on your neck. and you can hold still. You can start to break through any tension with your breath and moving your foot, or really it's moving your thigh bone again from side to side, but it looks like your foot is waving or like it's a windshield wiper. Take a few more. Maybe you point your toes down and away from you. Again, feeling the stretch on the top of your ankle. And then you can pull your toes up. Let's bend back into the left leg and widen out your stance one more time. I totally missed this part. We're gonna put the right hand down, left hand on your inner thigh. You're gonna roll to the outer edge of your left foot so you get that inner thigh sensation again. With this dive of your right hip, can you connect to that midline point, which is right at your pelvic floor again and right at your low belly. Stay really strong and firm on your right shoulder, your right arm. You need to add a little bend there to wrap your shoulder blades back. It's okay. One more breath. And you can shift the hips back first. Heel toe your foot back in alignment so that your hands can bring your foot. Lift up your back knee, take a couple steps or just one big step up to the top of your space. Take a breath in, find your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Bend into your knees. Take your time, coming all the way up to stand, using your hands as needed. Reach up again. Exhale, hands in towards your heart. Okay. Again, standing firm in your feet. Feel this anchor. Feel your hips out. Maybe you put your hands there and notice if you're tilting forward and letting yourself spill in front of you. I want you to feel this tuck of your tailbone so that your low back feels decompressed, your belly feels lightly engaged. Super important here to stay connected to your front line. Okay, all the way from your chin to your pubic bone is a lot of muscle, right, rectus, and fascia that comes all the way here. I want you to allow this to lengthen without feeling so much compression in your low back. So breathe in, open up your chest, and if you can actively find either gripping your fingers together or using like a towel or a pillowcase to hold, imagine you could straighten out your arms and pull your shoulder blades back without letting your spine arch. Keep your tailbone rooted down. Lift your hands off of your glutes. So you should feel this big expansion in your chest, maybe even across your shoulders or your upper arm bones. Take a big inhale, lift your chin off your chest. So you can exhale, connect to that low belly part of you, right by your waistband would be. One more inhale. And exhale, let go of that grip. Take an inhale, shoulder blades come up. Exhale, relax them down. And take your right arm, reach all the way across your body. You can find a little hook with your left arm coming underneath, or you can find, again, a shoulder hug, or interweave your arms together in this little eagle arm wrap. Okay, breathe in, find a little lift in your shoulders and chest, wherever you are. If you're even here, that's fine. Exhale, sit down low into an imaginary chair. And stay right there, wherever you are. One more breath in, and a breath out to engage your low belly. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky, push through your feet, reach up. Exhale, take the left arm all the way across. Find a little hook or a hug or a full bind. Okay, breathe in, lift your elbows off your chest if you're bound up. Exhale, sit down low, bending at your hips and then your knees to follow. Keep your long spine. Take one more breath. Inhale, reach up to the sky, push through your feet. Exhale, dive yourself down. Take your time, grabbing your blocks. You can shift one knee at a time to the earth. You can send your feet one way or even try crossing and rolling over, back over onto your hips. And you're going to stack your blocks for these last few positions, okay? Keeping the block flat first and then the tallest setting here. If you have bolster, you're just going to prop it up against it. If you don't have blocks or bolster or anything, you could always just lay down your back if you're still comfortable with that. All we're going to do is take a little twist. So starting maybe first on your side with your legs one direction, lean yourself over onto the bolster and slowly wrap your top shoulder back. You can make those small adjustments, but this should feel like a supported twist. And if it feels good to open up your arms, you can take this expansiveness again, noticing in your body where you feel open. Just take 3 more right here. And slowly center yourself, laying back on the bolster. You can just lift your legs up, shift your hips, or if it serves you better to come back up and then twist over, you're just going to go to the other side. So sneak your hips all the way close to the bolster as best as you can. Lean yourself down and then back with your top shoulder opening up. The more you hug your knees towards your shoulders, the less you should feel in your low back. More of the twist should happen in your upper. Take your arms wide if that feels good and expansive for you. One more round. And then you can lift your knees, center your hips so that you can be straight on your back. And do what feels good here for your final resting pose. Legs can go straight, flopped out. You can star them out. That feels good. Take up room. Bring the soles of your feet together. And if you can slip your hands in your pants and let them stay right around your belly. Now you don't have to use any muscles to hold yourself up. Or you can let your arms go out to your sides. Don't worry about what your breath is doing. But let yourself just be and notice everything that's happening within you. The physical, the mental, emotional, hormonal changes that occur over this span of time. It's pretty incredible. Breathe here, be here. I'll call you out when it's time. Breathe deeply. Notice how you feel. It feels right to start moving your body or just deepening your breath. To begin this reawakening process. Slowly move in any way that feels intuitive until you can lean over or lay over on your side. And take your time coming up to a seat, leaving this old version of you that just practiced behind. Knowing that we shed layers of ourselves over and over, we shed energies and cleanse ourselves from the inside out with breath, with movement. And we can come back to this present space completely transformed by what we just practiced. So hold your hands at your heart center, honoring that. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And open mouth exhale for yourself. And bring your hands to your belly. Big transformation here. Big inhale through your nose. Open mouth exhale. Thank you so much for coming and showing up. From my heart to yours, namaste.